It is exactly 5 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side, and you have found Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, where we give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. Now, this is politics and current affairs, where we get to speak and let our heart out, and we do that within the premise of civility and responsibility, what we like to call it the Eagles Outlook. And yes, an outlook into politics and current affairs has it that Nigerian government is urging retailers to reduce food prices. By the way, my name is Uduak Daniel, and we'll be looking into this discourse this morning. This is as expected. We've seen where the inflation, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, now saying that it has gone to 24.48%. 0.48%, and it is gladdening the hearts of each and every one of us. But then, are these joys going to be permanent? Are they going to be feasible? Will they be somewhat revealed in our lives, in our daily lives, in the economy, in the hike in prices of commodity, in the hike in fuel consumption right there, as well as other aspects of our dear country Nigeria? These are the pertinent questions, because the Nigerian government has been facing challenges. We understand that, especially in ensuring food affordability for its citizens. Over time, though, the country has been experiencing a rise in food prices, which has also made it quite difficult for many Nigerians to access basic food items. Now, in recent times, though, in recent months, so to speak, the prices of essential commodities such as flour, sugar, rice, and spaghetti have increased significantly, and it has made it quite a challenge for low-income households to afford these commodities. Now, the government has been working to address the issue. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, has also been at the forefront of these efforts, according to the reports by the National Bureau of Statistics. Now, the country's inflation rate has been operation, being a major contributor. Now, the report also states that the food inflation rate increased from 17.38% in January of 2024 to 20.57% in December of 2024. This rise is also, this rise in food, prices has also been attributed to various factors, including the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, and insecurity in some parts of the country. Well, it makes us, want to ask the question, or it begs to ask the question, what is, therefore, the current state of food affordability in Nigeria? Now, food is something that connects each and every one of us. Everybody must eat. You must have to have something in your stomach. Now, there was a report that came, is it from the UNICEF now, or the World Health Organization, one of these organizations, talking about the type of meals that we consume in these parts of the world, talking about nutritious meals. And it has begged the question from many lips of Nigerians saying, you're talking nutrition? Who really gives care to nutritious food these days in the face of the food crisis calamity, so to speak, that we face in Nigeria, whereby it is even hard, for one to be able to secure, to purchase certain foods. That food, Garium sulfate, right? Gary, yes, you know that. Used to be the poor man's food, but then is it still the poor man's food right now? Because you know how much a mudu of Gary is right now. And so it just begs the question, what then is the current state of food affordability in Nigeria? And how is it affecting the average citizen, right? Now, a personal story has it where a Nigerian is saying that he has experienced, first-hand challenges of accessing affordable food, says my family and I have had to adjust our diet to accommodate the rising food prices, which has been so difficult. Now, he goes on to saying that we have had to reduce our consumption of certain food items and opt for cheaper alternatives. Now, that's the reality. Well, however, though, he says, I am hopeful that the government's efforts to reduce food prices will have a positive impact on our lives. I believe that access to affordable food is a fundamental right, and it is the government's responsibility to ensure that its citizens have access to this basic necessity. Now, this is what, he has, said right there. And then it makes me also want to ask, I know that you listening right now, you've also had to go through, the same reality as this young man who has decided to be anonymous in this instant. Right? Have Nigerians have to go through with regards to food affordability, and how have they coped with the rise in food prices, especially when you look at some of the states, especially one on my lips now. One of the family members keeps talking about it, and you and I know what the states represent. I'm talking Benue State, the food basket of the nation, getting on with insecurity, deaths, killing, rivalries, a lot of things going on, and quite a number of people say is being exacerbated, or is being pioneered, is being sponsored by the activities of those sponsoring terrorism, or by the activities of political, individuals who have decided to hold that state to ransom. But we have our guest, who is an information specialist, an information professional, a policy and public affairs analyst, is in a person of Mr. Benedict Olalikon Agunloye. Good morning and welcome to Eagles Outlook this morning.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome aboard to the discourse. Well, it does seem as though the federal government is prevailing on retailers to reduce food prices. In fact, one of the strong reasons will be the fact that, the NBS had said that our inflation has, dipped lower, right, from the 34.80% 4.48%. Which, of course, quite a number of analysts are saying is nothing short of a miracle. In how many space, how many was the duration, what's the time frame, and we're already at 24. Could this also be a mandate of trying to reach the 15% inflation rate that the president promised just at the beginning of, was it at the beginning of the year now, or was it late last year, and all of that? Promised that it was going to go down to 15%. But the reality, Nigerians are saying, we are not seeing it just yet, and quite a number of people, buckle their middle belt, talking about their stomach, buckle their finances, just to meet up with the responsibility of providing food. And then if we look at the food basket of the nation, Benue State now has been riddled with a lot of insecurity. When you put all of these together and you look at the place of the government and the part of the government, and of course the role that the Minister of Agriculture is also putting into as efforts, to ensuring that we have a stable, food supply in the country, which is tantamount or commensurate with the reduction in prices. Do you think that we are making any efforts? Is this the step in the right direction? And how can we indeed begin to see some of these things looking visible in our society today?
Well, we need to look at things, I think, first from the various perspectives where they have been laid.
Okay.
Why does not mean a reduction in price.
Oh.
It only means that the rate of increase of prices is slowing down. That is not to say that prices are not increasing. I think that needs to be very clear in the mind of the public, that inflation rate is not necessarily the price. So if there is a dip in the rate, it only means that instead of the price going from 1,000 to 1,500, is going from 1,000 maybe to 1,300 or 1,250. That way, the prices are still increasing. It's just that the rate of the increase is reducing. Now, that's what the headline inflation rate suggests. However, we also need to know that what the Bureau of Statistics have done now is a case of rebasing the consumer price index, moving it from for 2012 template to 2018. Now, that is a global practice and it's a global standard. So rates and indices for me are global. But hunger, because they are global, they are uniform, but they will not affect everybody equally. But when you come to hunger is in fact sub-local. It's not just local. Hunger is directly with individual. And hunger has no respect for indices. Hunger has no respect for policy. Hunger would only respond to the food label. So to the man thinking from the direction of I am hungry and the man thinking in the direction of policy, their thinking can never follow the same process. Why? Because there is what you call value chain between the policy and the market. Now, for the Minister of Agriculture, I would say that his call is a moral call based on effort that he thinks he has put in place, right? However, that call is demanding for what you would call loyalty to the nation by the people in the market. But that loyalty that you are calling, can the fellow in the marketplace actually feel it correctly? I can say yes. Yes, you have put inputs on the farm. The price has dropped from 80 to 60 on the farm as a claim, right? But the roads are still manned. But now government says they are doing free CNG conversion. How do we know the difference in Abuja between the vehicles that are running CNG and the vehicles that are running petrol? They both are still collecting the same price. Even though there has been a marginal reduction in petrol price, there has been a general increase in the price of transport in Abuja between December and now. Whether we like it or not, distances that used to be 700 naira are now 1,100, but no longer 700. Distances that were 300 are now 400. Some 300 had moved to 5. So where you have not fixed the cost of transport or ensure that you mitigate the transport cost, there is no way you can ask the man who has paid extra to move the goods to now respect the price from the farm. Yes, the farm has reduced 20,000, but that margin is going to be eroded by the transport and logistics before it gets to the marketplace. So the minister needs to also look more at, we've always been talking about off-takers. We've always talked about let's have a controlled distribution system where some manufacturers can actually have dealers that they can hold responsible in different states, so that if we say, oh, we are disunited and we provide this milk, we want the retail price of this milk to be 500 naira, and we are giving it to our distributors at 300, right? The distributor should be able to get it at that 300, and then you should hold the distributor responsible for not selling at the control price, including sanction. But where it is a free market, where anybody goes in, anybody comes out, then there is a problem. So it is not sufficient that you have supported the farmers and the price at the farm stage, that level, which you will call the upstream. The fact that the upstream prices have come down doesn't mean that it will affect the downstream, right? Because a lot of things are still wrong in the midstream. Transportation in Nigeria is still monopolistic. It's unionized. I used to know for a long time, when you buy a keg of palm oil from the southwest, even moving it within the southwest, nobody carry you with a 20 liter of palm oil for free. They have a fixed rate for that 20 liters. So if you say you buy it there 18,000, they will collect 8,000 from you. So it already automatically changes the price to 21 and not 18 before you move between Ondo and Lagos or between Ondo and Abuja. So what exactly is the minister doing to ensure that when these things are produced on the farm, there are off-takers, there are distribution points? That way, the cost of logistics will not be directly on the individual seller. Because you say it's dropped from 80 to 60 as you claim, but if I'm going to weigh bill it from Jigawa to Abuja, I will not pay less than 8,000 naira for weigh bill. And I will still move it from the park where weigh bill will drop it to the market. Is it not? Then you now have to look at the cost of fund. So if I have spent 72,000 naira to get it to the market, I bought it at 60 because it is not 60.
Right, let me put
now we are not saying that.
Let me put
we are not saying that there are not retailers that are greedy, right? There are greedy retailers, but the best way to deal with the greedy retailers is to have some processes in place. If people have alternative, the greedy retailer will be forced to come down.
Okay.
But when people don't have alternative, then the greedy retailer, just like the greedy transporter, will choose to be exploitative. And they will hide under the condition of the road is not good, petrol is expensive, the exchange rate is this, and exchange rate is that. So we need to have a process that addresses the various value chain. So this is what the minister has done to the farm. What has the government done to the road?
Okay.
What have we done to transportation?
All right.
Why are there no medium trucks that runs on CNG that can make the cost of input between the farm and the market to come lower because of lower transportation?
Well, yeah, let's just open the phone lines now, because I'm sure Nigerians, family members would also want to, look into this topic very critically. You can join the conversation right about now. 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. The other number would be 0908 766 8888. The WhatsApp portal number is 0909 70550. Please, let's keep it short and simple, go straight to the point, so that we can also allot time to other family members to add their voice in the discourse. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, please. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Prince Emeka.
Right, where you
from Jabi.
From where? Jabi?
Yes.
All right, Prince Emeka, go ahead.
Good. You see, I love the analysis of our person talking right now.
Right.
But you see, there is something we have to look at. We have to look at the society holistically. These 20 people we are looking at, they pay school fees, which has been increased. They pay house rent, which has been increased. They also are involved in paying the electricity bill and every other thing. So where do you expect them to get money from? It is from that same product they are selling. They have to increase the price to be able to meet their own needs in the society. So you see, government want to help the people. They know what to do. All those subsidies that have been removed, they have to put it back and channel it towards meeting the need of the people. This is that the people are stealing petrol. It's not enough reason not to subsidize petrol. All they need to do is to mitigate all those areas where people steal it from. So that is what the government needs to up their game if truly they love the people who they claim to be government.
Right, appreciate that one, Prince Emeka. Right, the government needs to up their game if truly they love the people they claim that they govern over, is what Prince Emeka is saying right there. What would be your own thoughts in this regard? Very clear point he made. Should also know that you can join the conversation right now via social media platforms, as we have an international television that we are hosting right there, watched by many countries. On YouTube, subscribe at Eagles FM Abuja, as well as on Facebook at Eagles FM Abuja. Right now, I see another comment right there with a family member on Facebook. Very, very, interesting to the conversation this morning. And he starts with a laughter and says, UD, until the government stops playing propaganda and shifting the blames to traders and retailers, how exactly are retailers the ones responsible for the food inflation? UD, please tell me, what happened to the supposed tax relief on some certain food commodities as promised by the government last year? What has the government done on its part in making sure most of the complaints by traders, farmers, and manufacturers are considered, right? And that one is coming from Wagu James Chimezium, right? And I see Jojo now. Jojo Comedy Homer says, well, what we need is for the Nigerian government to reduce fuel price down to 200 naira per liter, and food price will automatically reduce, right? Well, anyways, thank you, Jojo, for that one. Do appreciate. Now we're back to you, Sir Benedict. I mean, you've heard, the conversations. Yes, sometime ago, given that promise, that certain food commodities, will go through tax relief and all of that, and Nigerians, in fact, have been expecting to see that indeed come into limelight and ameliorate the hike in food prices, or better still, bring to a reduction, maybe not back to where it used to be, but at least something close to what it used to be, and all of that. Where would you say that the discrepancy is coming from, especially when the minister himself, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Yari, has urged retailers to reduce food prices to reflect the current market realities?
Yeah, what we're seeing is still very simple. I heard the other man talking about paying school fees and this and that.
Yes.
Virtually every price is revolving and reacting to the same thing. Mm-hmm. The biggest price determinant in Nigeria in the open space will be transportation. And so if now this government has been around for 20 months or more, or about 20 months, are we saying that in 20 months we cannot have CNG trucks? If you have given us transportation alternatives, right, then the logistic cost of moving the goods from source to the market would have come down, and people would have had alternatives. If the road network, the better things. In those days, there used to be a place in Kaduna that you have train bringing yam from Niger. And I know at that time that was the cheapest point from Niger State. Around Kaduna State is a train station or around the train station. Used to be the cheapest point for yam. Why? Because at the time, the rail transport for that yam, one, carries a larger volume than any truck or car, and the price was much lower. So it's not rocket science that good infrastructure will network the place and reduce price. Now, as long as we keep talking about taking subsidy of this, because you said retailers, they pay transport, they pay electricity bill in their shop, which they have, but many of them have been migrated to band A and are still paying for darkness in the name of estimated billing. So there are a lot of inefficiencies in the system. And if those inefficiencies are not taken care of, we will just be talking rhetorics if we are addressing the individual. So you need to look at what is it that affects everybody. If you can deal with that effectively, then we will be moving forward.
So what would that be? What would that be that is affecting everybody? Is that the fuel in itself?
Fuel is one. Okay. Energy is one. The basic infrastructure is one. As we speak today, we are already paying 50% more on data. Is it not? The cap approved possibly by MPCC says 50%. That should have the body is charging you less than 50% extra in the Nigerian telecom space. So we're paying 50% extra for telecom. Transport has increased by close to 30%, and then we are talking about the price coming down because the price has reduced on the farm. No, I don't think it is that way. The minister needs to address the entire value chain. Look at exactly what can be done at each stage. And like I said, bringing in CNG truck is not rocket science. 20 months is a long time for the Ministry of Agri or for the nation as a whole to have done something about that. There are cottage electric vehicles, tricycles that could work on the farm state and support transportation. But we are not doing that. They are still all running on petrol. As if there is a cabal that said, and we know these alternatives are possible, but we have spent our money building filling stations. We have invested in petrol infrastructure, so you can't just migrate the nation away. And possibly they have control over the government. It may not be so, it can just be mere allegation, but that's the kind of scenario we are having. The number of CNG vehicles on our roads are not increasing. We're not bringing in electric vehicles. The petrol price has not come down. And unless that happens and change the energy mix, we are not going to be going very far.
All right, let me put a peg to your thoughts. Let me put a peg down now. We'll be right back from recess. We've got bills to pay, all right? And just to also speak to you, you've been thinking about joining the conversation. Well, you'll do that on the flip side of 9:30 as we go on this recess. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Kai, Oga, wannan injin naka ya gaji fa.
Amma ka san haka kuma ka bari na kashe kuɗi na?
Oga, ba laifi na bane. Ka san injin nan naka.
Kuma yanzu kake faɗa mun haka?
To ai nayi na gyara injin nan amma injin nan naka yaki.
Ku jira aka yi.
Ka san cewa injin motocinka da na janareto suna buƙatar mai kyau yadda ya kamata? Ita ce ta hanyar sayan mai inganci. Shi yasa matatar man Dangote ta tace muku man fetur zuwa RON, wato tsaftataccen mai wanda shine ingantaccen man fetur din da zaka iya dogaro ko amincewa da shi a dukkanin injinan ku. Lokaci yayi da za ku kula da injinan ku sai man Dangote mai inganci.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just
20,000 naira?
Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. Hurry now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Still in the discourse, Nigerian government urging retailers to reduce food prices right there. Quite a number of angles coming through as we have our guest who is connecting with us via phone call. His name is Mr. Benedict Olalikon. Now, he is one who is, very well versed, in information, matters, policy, as well as public affairs, in this country. Quite reputable, though, if you ask me. But then, now we're still looking at the concerns. We're looking at the matter, on ground. You want to join the conversation as you've been trying to just when we were at during the recess. 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. 0907 353 0044. You might as well want to stick to that number and then get on to the WhatsApp portal now. Leave us a WhatsApp message now. No voice notes, just a WhatsApp message will do. 0909 705 4450. Now, somebody's been asking, what has the minister done? What efforts has the minister done? Well, I'll let you into what the minister has done, but let's go take this call first. All right, that's a miss, though. Keep the calls coming through. I guess that's a little bit of glitch in the network. Now, the minister has stated that the prices of essential commodities such as flour, sugar, rice, and spaghetti spaghetti have dropped. Many retailers are still selling at the old prices. Now, for instance, flour as falling from 81,000 naira per bag to maybe below 60,000 naira, and spaghetti from 20,000 naira to about let's say around about 15,000 naira now. The government is committed to ensuring food affordability, and of course, the government has also been doing its bit in engaging stakeholders to addressing the issue. Now, the minister also went further to announcing a federal government donation of 10,000 water pumping machines, right? That's on the one part. 10,000 pieces of sprayers. I want to believe that should be pesticides or herbicides. 10,000 liters of herbicides, okay. 10,000 liters of insecticide, 10,000 organic fertilizers, and other items worth 5 billion naira to support farmers in Jigawa State. And quite a number of Nigerians want to ask the question, okay, so that's in Jigawa State. What happens to the other states of the Federation? Or is this a matter that will spread across all these 10,000s, efforts in ensuring that things get better in the agricultural sector? Is this going to be spread across every other state? Well, while that question is hanging there, let's take your call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Bibi.
Why is it you? What happened? What happened for my sister?
I know she's fine. She'll be right here. Yes.
All of Nana will be fine.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
Bibi, where are you calling from? Bibi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Otako.
All right, thank you.
Bibi Blessing
awesome.
from Otako.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask you, who does that? Who's the Ueta market last? You the Ueta market?
Sometimes, yes.
No, just say something.
Sometimes.
Just say something. So, for your own president, now whether na rice you go buy, because me at the Eta market every day. When I talk here, I go run, go market or tackle here. Now that he said to choose to drop, this will get it to high. I don't know whether if we they talk, all of that people that they bribe, waiting they go eat, they will just talk, say, this will don't drop. Make the person measure for us, waiting don't drop. Common mineral, and they always they tell you for this radio, common mineral, where common man they drink, it create how much? 6,200 from Otako market here. Go and ask. Take me to where we they buy, how much will they buy now? I don't know what to drop, whether na rice or beef, how much for beef, mudu? 2,700. What it don't drop? How much for mudu of rice? 2,800. Some local, 2,700. I don't know what to drop. People don't see where water will they buy. How much will they buy at the market now? 2,000 plus. I don't know what they tell us to say you drop. A crate of egg now 6,300 with the buyer. So I don't know what they say you drop. When I tell us what you drop, where common man did, I did not corn drop. Now mudu of corn now whether they buy 2,000 and now drop. I don't know if you go and check our market. Who go now water leave where with the bad. Water leave now whether they say 15 naira before. Now who go 300, you cannot buy good 300 naira for market. People go just come out and say that they say something. I think they just the Roman like that. They find what they go into make the terrorist place there. I don't really understand. When we are talking, okay, pure water now come up pure water bag now is 500 naira. So they say 450. So they say 400. The one way not even full. And in a leakage. What do you do? Tell me now.
All right, baby.
They say they donate fertilizer. They donate anything. They donate to reach my address state. What time we tell our president make tackle issue of security. May bring price of fuel come down. Any woman when you come meet for market now, motor of groundnut where the measure is 3,500 naira. Small motor not even reach 7 cup. What did they say drop? May they come here they tell them.
All right,
baby. I think that gas will drop. Gas will not drop. Fuel no drop. I think may they talk the truth. May they not allow me to have this for them this morning. God bless you guys.
Appreciate BB blessing right there. Well, giving us an update in the reality, what has really dropped. Nothing seemingly has dropped. Well, the guest has already made it clear that, look, the fact that the inflation rate has dropped or has dipped to 24.48% does not necessarily mean that will be translated into the prices. And as the other factors, can be attributed to why the prices are what they are. Well, just before I get with you, Sir Benedict, let's go take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Is this Honorable Edwards?
Yes,
all right.
Yes, Honorable.
All right, talk to us, Honorable.
Whatever we are saying here, whether we say this from morning to night, that made all these things to jack up as a result of fuel subsidy removal.
Right.
Before this, the removal of fuel subsidy, if you can remember how they were saying a Dago rice, a Mudo rice, and like that. Okay, let me come. If you look at where these people allocate their mass in order to cover their network, in some places, no building, no electricity, they depend on gas. And even where there is electricity, I don't know why, they don't use electricity, they depend on gas. And how much gas now? How much was it? As you are taking your yam from Masaka to Gaiki, before, maybe it was 200 naira, now it's around 1,000 plus. You expect the price to be the same? There's no provision. The government said to provide, support us with something that will question the effect of that fuel subsidy. That's the problem. Except vehicles, they do this thing, nothing. Well, that is the problem. No matter what we say, fuel subsidy is the cost of this. The money that's given to governors, instead of them to do the right thing so that this thing will come down, they are not making use of it.
Okay.
I don't know where we're heading to.
So, honorable, what do you think would have been done better? Is it setting up a tax force to going into the market, or what exactly? Because these sellers they have bills to pay. They are also our brothers and sisters.
You cannot. Yes. Of course, like what our guest say. Like in electricity, we are paying for electricity. I am also on bad A, I'll be able to call it. I am paying for darkness. Then, if you don't have that right to go and force these people in the market, or so tell them what to say. The price they are buying this thing from where they are supplying them is higher.
Okay.
So do you expect to say this thing without this thing? The only solution is to make sure that our fuel subsidy, our fuel refineries are working. Mr. President should concentrate on this. If possible, supervise this thing himself. Let him make it. Let him have a history of turning this country into. He has been taking a drastic decision. He should look into this first refinery. That is a major problem.
All right. Thank you so much, though. Appreciate Honorable Edwards right there. Look into the fuel subsidy, because that's where the problem indeed, or the challenge that we're facing, started from the very, outset. Well, Sir Benedict, you heard Nigeria speak. What would be your thoughts on this now?
Well, like I said earlier, I can understand the ministers and group is looking at the effort the government is also looking at what prices manufacturers are quoting. But like I said, when you look at the logistics between where these things are and the market, definitely there is a gulf, right? There is a gulf. Now, when you also come to the fact that woman that was talking about Otaku market.
Yes.
In that market, you cannot rule out that there are actually people who are not patriotic, who are unnecessarily greedy. I'll give you an example. He talks about a bottle of Coke, is it not? A crate of Coke in that market goes for 6,000. If you sell at 300 per bottle, you make 7,200. Right? They don't need any transport to move the Coke when they buy it at 6,000. But some sell for 350. They make, as they sell for 8,400, they make 2,400. But in that same Mutako, some are selling a bottle of Coke, for 500 naira. So that means they buy for 6 and they make as much as 12,000. Now, how much does the manufacturer make? How much does the dealer make? So when you come to those kind of people, I think, yes, the talk about patriotism may come to stand, right? But the reality is that if in that market there is a kiosk that sells at the control price of 300, it means it's only if you cannot walk to that point That's when you satisfy the Shylocks. But when the Shylocks are aware that nearby there is a formidable competition, they will definitely adjust their cases. So, like I said, manufacturers need to have more presence, more distributors, so that they can ensure that whatever, and they should deliver to them. So, if you are selling 60,000 in Lagos, and I have to pick it myself from Lagos, definitely you don't expect me to respond to that price. That is not my cost. But if you have a distributor inside the Stako market, inside Wuse market, inside Kubwa market, that is selling at that your 60,000, then we can blame all retailers if they don't respond to the price change. But generally, yes, you have given input to the farmers. How about those that require processing? How about electricity at those places? Like I said, for fuel, I may not call for reversal of subsidy, but I think that it is no-brainer that we do not have alternative on the street. Right. The CNG vehicles should be here. The CNG trucks should be here. The electric vehicles should be here. If you can compete effectively on price at the level of transportation, a lot of other costs will sure be coming down. Of course, another option is rents are going up, drug prices are skyrocketing. So we need to see how effective has been the government project in ensuring that the primary health care are, for instance, serving and meeting the need of the people.
All right.
Is our health insurance working? And what can we do to make it work better?
Right.
So if the man on the in the market does not have to think about paying huge hospital bill, he's not thinking about paying high tuition fee, he's not thinking about some basic needs, then he will be able to respond correctly and appropriately to market forces.
Right.
But right now, a lot of people are responding to their needs and not the reasoning of global economies or any principle. Well, by whatever means they can get the money, they just want to get it and solve their problem.
Okay.
So we need to become more integral. We need to be more focused. Government needs to define the roles and the things that they are doing more. You know, we always say for everything you want to do, let's look at the outcomes. Right. When you invest in agriculture in Niger, in Jigawa, in Taraba, how do you get this food to the market? Are there roads? What would they pay for transportation? Are there off-takers who can actually take this thing off the farmer to be sure that at the point of harvest are not actually facing undue competition? Right? It's not people that will buy it into private warehouse, buy it cheap from the farmer, hoard it, and then when it is scarce, they make double the profit.
All right.
Or even more than the entire cost of the farmers.
Let's build a bridge from what your thoughts into this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, Dr.
Good morning to you. Is this Omotayo?
Yes, this is Omotayo from Galadima.
Awesome. Omotayo, let's hear you.
Yes, thank you so much. All protocols duly observed. You see, very quickly, I want to ask a question. I salute your guest. He has spoken prominently well. Now, I want to ask a question. Is there any punishment attached or prescribed to any government office when they come out and announce figures that are not collating, that are not going along with what is really obtainable in reality? Because what we tend to see every now and then is either there's a rumor that is out to say, the government, the telecom company has increased their money by so percent. They come out to deny it openly. Minister of Communication says it is also. Or they say one thing happened and they come out to deny it openly, and then in less than 2 days you begin to hear actually it is so. Why did you deny it 2 days earlier when it was actually already so? Why is it that there is no that punishment attached so that these people don't just come up freely and lie to us, Dr. UD? Do you understand? We know what is happening live, on ground in the when it has to be on the lower cadre of the society. It is different from the thing of these guys are announcing on air. Ministers just come, like, is there no punishment so that these guys actually checkmate this thing? Because obviously they don't have any. Look, when we say the government is in a total disconnect with its people, this is what we are talking about. Because if you are in connect with your people, you will not go and announce a figure on air that is not connecting, that is not going in line with what the people are suffering on the road, on the street. Dr. Yudi, for the first time in my life, I will tell you, sir, I had to go on public space to beg for support for the first time in my entire life since I was born over 37 years ago. I currently am on a public space today begging for help, for assistance, because I can't actually food for my family. This is me whom 3 years, 4 years backward ago I was doing well. I could tell people I'm one of those tending to the medium class of the society. Right. So when it annoys me when these people just come out and then say things, and we here cannot boast. I mean, we can't even for God's sake, we can't even ascertain 1% or even 0.5% of what these people claim they are doing up there. It is not working. Nothing is reducing, sir. Rather, it's increasing. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Thank you so much, my brother.
All right, let's tell ourselves the truth and not an overgrown spoon or shovel. But anyways, just before, Sir Benedict, you add your, thoughts. Oh, come on, the call's still coming through. Okay, well, let's see how we can take this message. And then, of course, if time allows, we'll take one more call and then call it close. Now, back from Duce saying, good morning to the guest. And he says, as a businessman, have come to observe one major reason for high cost of goods in the market is demand pull factors. When there is shortage of commodities in the market due to high demand, price can triple in less than an hour. Okay, whether government reduces fuel pump price or repairs our roads with CNG vehicles, it won't solve the problem, as Nigerian population is growing and our manufacturing industries are struggling to meet up with the demands for market consumption. So marketers will continue to hike or retain their old prices. Factors highlighted by analysts is just preliminary assumptions in nature, even when put in place. If consumable commodities are not enough in the market, it will make no impact in price determination. All right, let government see how she can make consumable commodities available in the market. It will drive price down drastically or dramatically, per se. All right, Abbas, thank you so much. And you're reporting from Duce right there. Can we? No, I can't squeeze in this call right now. I am so sorry. Well, let's get back with you. Your final thoughts, in all of these discourse. Omotaya said, 4 years ago, I can be considered to be one who's scaling up to becoming the medium class or middle class. And now he's resorted to, the public space to beg, to appeal. And it's really devastating. It hurts me as a person, though, sitting behind the MIC and all of that. Well, let's hear your final thoughts and conclusion in this.
Well, Motayo killed the people. There is no doubt about that.
Right.
Things do not seem to look up in the direction of many. But like we said, yes, the call to patriotism to the person on the market is a genuine call as it relates to some individuals. But we also know that it is not everybody in the market that has that tendency to do the same. Like I told you, the same item, somebody sells 300, another sells 350, another sells 400, and somebody is selling it 500 in the same market space. That product is widely available. It's not that there was scarcity. So it's just a choice and the difference in the level of greed. So I think the minister call is actually to those who have exhibited greed to see what they can do as patriotic citizens to reduce their